Christmas in Ibadan always carried a certain calmness, a gentle harmattan breeze, quiet streets, and a soft glow from lights wrapped around trees and storefronts. That was the atmosphere on the morning Morenike Adeniran returned home after 3 long years. 3 years away. 3 years of silence. 3 years of carrying a pain she never allowed anyone to touch. But as the old Yoruba saying goes, a person's true home is where healing begins. Home was calling her. When she entered the compound in Bodija, it felt as if time paused. Her mother spotted her first. "Morenike, my daughter." The woman ran toward her as if years of longing carried her forward. They embraced, tight, trembling, full of unspoken sorrow. But Toby, her younger brother, simply stood by the doorway. His voice was quiet, but his heart was loud. "So you finally remembered us?" The room fell silent. No one needed to interpret the pain. That night, her mother prepared a warm meal and tried to create a peaceful atmosphere. But even then, she looked at Morenike carefully. "There is something heavy in your eyes, my child. You haven't healed." Morenike forced a smile. She wasn't ready to talk, not yet. The next morning, her mother woke her gently. "We are going to the church's Christmas outreach in Dugbe. Dress up, my dear." "Mommy, I came home to rest." "You can rest after we serve others." And so, reluctantly, she followed. At the outreach, they distributed Christmas hampers, clothes, toys, and food items. Children laughed around them, their joy filling the air. One little girl held her younger brother and whispered, "Don't cry, I will share mine with you." Something inside Morenike shifted. It was small, but it was real. A piece of her heart softened. God was working quietly. Later that night, she found Toby in the backyard, sitting on her late father's wooden bench. His posture was tense. "May I sit?" "It's not my bench. Sit if you want." She sat. They listened to the night breeze for a long moment before she finally spoke. "Toby, I'm sorry." He swallowed hard. "You left us, Morenike. You left me. You left Mom. When everything fell apart, you ran, not just to Lagos, but away from us." She felt the words in her chest like stones. "I know," she said softly. "I thought staying away would help me forget." He turned to her, eyes bright with the pain he had hidden for too long. "I needed my sister." Tears filled her eyes. "I'm here now," she whispered, "and I'm not leaving again." Something in his expression shifted. Not fully healed, but willing. That was enough for the night. 2 days before Christmas, as the family decorated the sitting room, a loud knock sounded on the front door. Toby opened it and froze. Standing outside was Pastor Dile, the very man whose prophecy, spoken in confidence, had left Morenike shattered. "Mommy," she whispered, "what is he doing here?" Her mother sighed. "He came to see you." Pastor Dele stepped inside, removed his cap respectfully, and spoke. "I've prayed for the courage to see this." Anger rose in Morenike, sharp and immediate. "You told us our father would live. You said God spoke to you, and he died." Her voice trembled. "You broke my faith." The pastor inhaled deeply. Then, in a gesture no one expected, he knelt on the floor. "I was wrong," he admitted. "I spoke carelessly. I should have comforted your family, not given you false certainty. Your father trusted God to the end, but I delivered the message with pride. I'm deeply sorry." Silence wrapped the room. He continued, voice heavy. Your father's last words were, "Tell my children God never failed me. I carried that message poorly. Please forgive me." Her mother covered her mouth. Toby stood still, torn between anger and shock. Morenike felt something break open inside her, something she had locked away. She sank to her knees, tears falling freely. "I forgive you," she whispered. "I've wanted peace for so long." Her family gathered around her, holding her as though afraid she would break. Healing had finally entered the home. On Christmas morning, Ibadan shimmered with festive lights and warm music drifting through windows. The Adeniran home felt alive again, filled with laughter, clatter from the kitchen, and soft gospel music. As gifts were exchanged, Toby shyly handed Morenike a small wrapped box. Inside was a simple silver keychain shaped like a heart. "This house was missing something," he murmured. "You." She pulled him into a long embrace. Her heart felt whole, truly whole for the first time in years. Her mother looked at them with tears of joy. This is the Christmas God designed for us. Love had returned home. After Christmas morning filled their home with laughter and reconciliation, life in Bodija slowly returned to its gentle rhythm. But for Morenike, something new had begun deep inside her, a soft stirring she hadn't felt in years. Healing had opened a door. Now, love was slowly knocking. Her mother noticed it first. "You smile more these days, Mama," said one evening as they washed dishes. "It's nothing, Mommy." Mama chuckled. When a woman begins to say it's nothing with that shy tone, it is usually something. Morenike shook her head, laughing softly, but her cheeks warmed because Mama was right. There was something. It began on the first Sunday of the new year. The church had invited a new guest speaker, Brother Daniel Olatunji, a young architect and youth leader recently transferred from Lagos to Ibadan for a major construction project. When he stepped onto the stage, there was a quiet confidence about him. His message was simple. God restores the years that pain tried to steal. And when he spoke, his eyes rested briefly on Morenike, not in recognition, but in a way that felt strangely personal, almost as if he saw the hidden places she carried inside her. After service, she walked to the bookstand to buy a devotional book. He approached her with a kind smile. "Excuse me," he said, "you dropped this." She looked down. Her handkerchief lay in his palm. "Oh, thank you. I didn't notice." "Sometimes we drop things when we are deep in thought," he said, still smiling. She blinked, surprised he had observed. "You seem to be someone who carries a lot of thought," he added. She laughed nervously. "Something like that." He paused, then extended his hand. "My name is Daniel." She shook it lightly. "I'm Morenike." That was it. Just a simple introduction. But for the rest of the day, she found herself smiling at nothing. Over the next few weeks, Daniel became involved in church activities. He wasn't loud. He wasn't trying to impress anyone, but he served with sincerity, wiping chairs, helping elderly members, praying quietly with people who needed encouragement. One Sunday, he saw Morenike helping arrange hampers for another charity outreach and offered to stay behind. "Can I assist you?" "You don't have to." "I want to." They worked side by side, carefully arranging items. After a long stretch of silence, he asked softly, "Your smile, it's beautiful, but it hides something. Were you hurt recently?" She didn't answer immediately. Her hand stilled. "My father died," she said quietly, "and I didn't handle the grief well." He nodded slowly, compassion warming his eyes. "Loss changes us," he said, "but God has a tender way of gathering every broken piece." She looked at him then, really looked. Something gentle and safe rested in his gaze.
One cool Saturday evening, Daniel asked if she would join him for a walk at Agudi Gardens. It wasn't a date, at least he didn't call it that, but Morenike felt her heart beat a little faster. They walked beneath tall trees, birds calling overhead. I was once angry with God, he confessed. My fiancé left me for someone else. I felt I wasn't enough as a man. Morenike turned to him with surprise. I'm sorry, she whispered. He smiled a little sadly. I realized later that God was protecting me. Some losses are simply God's redirection. She felt an unexpected connection, pain speaking to pain, healing speaking to healing. Then he added softly, You carry strength, Morenike. Not the loud kind, the kind that grows in quiet places. She felt the words wrap around her heart.
Days turned into weeks. They talked after choir practice. They shared devotionals. They exchanged prayers. They laughed more than either expected. Even Toby noticed. Your face lights up whenever your phone vibrates, he teased one evening. Toby, please, she said, trying not to smile. You're glowing, Mama added from the sofa. Mommy! And they all laughed. For the first time in 3 years, the Adeniran home felt alive with a new kind of joy. One Sunday afternoon, Daniel walked her home after church. The sun cast a warm glow on the street and leaves rustled in the wind. Halfway to her gate, he stopped walking. Morenike, he began, voice steady but tender. I did not come to Ibadan expecting anything more than work, but meeting you, it has been a gift I didn't know I needed. Her heart thudded softly. I care about you, not because you're perfect, but because you're honest and kind, and because I see God's beauty in the way you've risen from pain. She inhaled sharply. He took one small step closer. I want to walk this journey with you, slowly, gently, prayerfully, if you'll allow me. Tears filled her eyes, not from fear this time, but from gratitude. I'm willing, she whispered. For the first time in years, I'm willing. He smiled, a soft, joyful smile. Then let's trust God together. At that moment, the evening breeze felt like a blessing. Love had found its way into her life again, the kind her father would have prayed for.